going, everybody? It's C-RadTV back here running our video. So, of course, it is now time for another Detroit Lions 2020 NFL Draft Preview. So, in the last video, we started off our Day 3 previews by looking at the top Day 3 quarterback prospects for rounds 4 through 7. And in this video, we're going to revisit the running backs. So, in this video, we're going to look at the best Day 3 running back prospects for rounds 4 through 7 of the NFL Draft. So yeah, with all that being said, let's go ahead and let's see how these prospects look this year for rounds 4 through 7. So the first running back we're going to go over here, hailing out of Miami, standing 5'9", weighing 215 pounds, we have DJ Harris. So for DJ's strengths, he has naturally low center of gravity. He has physical nature. He's relatively new to the position, which will intrigue some scouts, so he has a lot to learn still. He's a natural with the ball in his hands. He shows quick twitch explosiveness off the snap. Darts to daylight when the hole's there with sharp cuts and varied gaits that throw defenders off. Has impressive toughness as a ball carrier. Runs with his knees bent and shoulders down. Minimizes the target for opponents. Hits. And frequently delivers the blows rather than absorbing them. He's rare for a late convert to running back, has soft hands and body control as a pass catcher, remains in the toolbox. He was occasionally flexed out this last year, but he shows good route running acumen. So overall, when he came over to Miami, he signed as a 4-star wide receiver, but then in 2017, when Miami's running core was delivered with injuries out the ass, the coaches asked him to switch to running back, which 2017 was also his freshman year. So yeah, it ended up being a good move. In 2018, he gained 1,260 all-purpose yards. In 2019, he was Miami's primary back. In 10 games with Miami, he ran for 693 yards on 115 carries, averaging 6 yards a carry. He has a positive, upbeat personality, and is lauded by those close to the program. He still has a lot of tread left. Had only 324 career touches as a running back with Miami. In terms of his weaknesses, though, he shows more physicality than one might expect out of a former receiver. His vision patience isn't yet up to par. He too often runs blindly into the backs of his blockers, rather than bouncing things outside or cutting back against the grain. He had his experience at the position is also clear in pass protection, where he admirably, in pass protection where he too often appears surprised and tentative. So there we go. Overall, though, he will require thorough medical evaluation due to a dislocated left elbow that ended his 2019 season. So yeah, he does come with a bit of an injury history. So yeah, that's a bit of a red flag. Is it going to become an issue in the NFL? We'll have to see. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Troy Maine Pop of the Los Angeles Chargers. So he's a very physical running back. He's able to take a hit. But the injury, is that going to become a problem? It would be a gamble for sure to take him, without a doubt. So the next running back we're going to go over here, hailing out of Cincinnati, standing 5'11", weighing 223 pounds, we have Michael Warren II. So for Michael's strengths, he's very light on his feet, has the ability to make defenders miss in the hole. He's elusive enough, strong at the point of contact. Contact balance allows him to break tackles that would bring down other runners. His first move at the line of scrimmage is deadly, turns 2-yard runs into 22-yard gains. So he can make big plays when you need him to. Runs angry, makes him someone who defenses will be tired of seeing by the fourth quarter. So he's someone that can really hold the load well. Overall, for his college career, he rushed for 2,549 yards the last 2 seasons with Cincinnati. Finishes with 37 total touchdowns, 34 rushing touchdowns, and 3 passing touchdowns in 38 career games. And the 34 rushing touchdowns is a school record for Cincinnati. The main highlight of his career was when he got MVP honors in the 2018 Military Bowl, when he rushed for 166 yards on 20 carries, averaging 8.3 yards a carry in a monsoon rainstorm to help Cincinnati beat Virginia Tech in that game. In terms of his weaknesses, though, he struggles with his vision at times, leaves some yardage on the field. Long speed will be a concern at the next level. He was caught from behind too often by linebackers and safeties. He was used a little bit in the passing game, but his lack of versatility in the formation is something that will relegate him to certain formations in the pass-happy NFL. So he may need a little time to adjust to a new scheme. In terms of his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Latavius Murray of the New Orleans Saints. Definitely an interesting running back to look at. Someone to go look at in the later rounds. Has a lot of potential. He will need a couple years to develop, but hey, it's worth a shot for sure. So the next running back we're going to go over here, hailing out of Vanderbilt, weighing 5'10", weighing 215 pounds, we have Keyshawn Vaughn. So for Keyshawn's strengths, he's a well-built runner, has a compact frame, shows good vision, initial burst to and through the hole, smooth accelerator, deceptive speed, incorporates subtle shifts in gear to throw off the would-be tacklers, has good lateral agility, sharp jump cut ability, eludes in tight spaces. He's not afraid to give defenders a taste of their own medicine with a solid stiff arm, good leg drive to finish runs when he knows the line to gain is near. He's a natural pass catcher who quickly collects the ball, gets downhill. He has some trash talk to him, which can rile up his teammates. All I say is, hey, I have no problem with trash talking if he can back it up. If he can back it up, that's all. Then I'm gonna have no problem with him trash talking. Overall, in his college career, he started off with Illinois, ran for 1,024 yards in those 2 seasons with Illinois. Before he transferred to Vanderbilt. He was a 2-year bright spot for Vanderbilt's program. In his junior campaign, he ran for 1,280 yards, averaging 7.9 yards a carry. In 2019, his numbers dipped to 928 rushing yards, at averaging 5.4 yards a carry. But this was all on a Vanderbilt team that only won 3 games last year. And Keyshawn had little to no help also, which played a factor in those numbers dipping on a struggling Vanderbilt team. In terms of his weaknesses, though, his inconsistency is one of the main sums for him. He doesn't create enough on his own, despite some of his natural elusiveness and initial burst. Has only average breakaway speed, lacks true second gear. He will attempt to bounce outside when he should just burrow his head and get what he can. He exposes his chest too often by running high, so he's got to learn to stay low. He saps his own contact power. He's poor form as a blocker, so he's not really that much of a blocker in the pass game. So often he gets rocked and discarded quickly. He's slightly older than the average running backs in college. He turns 23 in May. In terms of his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Wayne Gallman of the New York Giants. So definitely a solid running back that can really carry a load. And can really make people miss. Someone definitely to keep an eye on. Has a few things that he's going to have to work on and clean up, but someone to keep an eye on for sure. So the next running back we're going to go over here, hailing out of Florida, standing 5'11", weighing 218 pounds, we have Lamico Herrien. So Lamico, he's the prototype intangibles running back. For his strengths, he's compact, he's powerfully built back, runs with purpose, he's quick to the hole, shows good vision, balance through contact, pinballs his way through the line of scrimmage. He uses some subtle shifts and sharp lateral cuts, rarely gives defenders a square target. He's useful in the passing game as a receiver and a blocker. Most of his receptions were simply dump-offs, though, in the flat. He's flexed out wide and he's targeted, shows attention to detail in his route running, alters gates and dekes, shakes defenders. He's a physical, fearless blocker with good awareness. His cousin is NFL running back Samaje Perine, and is also another cousin of his is linebacker for the Jaguars, Miles Jack. So he has some NFL bloodlines in him. So overall, when he showed up for the recruiting process in Auburn told him he was a little bit too slow. But during his senior year with Florida in a game against Auburn, Lamico got the last laugh on Auburn when he ran for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns in a Florida win over Auburn. In his senior year, Lamical ran for 676 yards, averaging 5.1 yards a carry. Part of his numbers being down a bit was because Florida runs a more pass-oriented offense, so it's more pass-heavy, and they rarely run. But when he needed to run, he ran. He was also the 2019 Orange Bowl MVP. So, overall, he played 50 games in college and had 2,485 rushing yards. So, for his weaknesses, he's a one-speed runner, possesses just average juice to get to the edge, lacks second gear to pull away in the open field. Not the most natural receiver, though. He doubles and triple clutches the ball at times, with some drops on tape. He's a physical blocker, occasionally delivers just a strong initial shove to defender, rather than just squaring up and finishing the block, so he's got to learn to finish his blocks better and stay with them. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Peyton Barber of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Definitely an interesting running back to keep on. He can run the ball. He's also solid in the pass. He just needs to clean some stuff up. So yeah, definitely someone we should keep an eye on for sure. So the next running back we're going to go over here, hailing out of UCLA, standing 5'11", weighing 219 pounds, we have Joshua Kelley. So for Josh's strengths, he's a natural receiver, rarely drops backfield tosses, active blocker, pushes the pace even when he's overmatched from a size standpoint. Won't step out of bounds when there's room to gain more ground. His toughness is sufficient. He's a fast processor, can pick his lanes without hesitating. Overall, for his college career, in his 2 years without UCLA, he ran for more than 1,000 yards in each of those 2 years. The main highlight of his college career was in a game against USC in 2018, when Josh Kelley had a monster performance when he ran for 289 yards on 40 carries, averaging 7.2 yards a carry in a win over USC. For his college career, he spent his first 2 years, though, at the school UC Davis. He also did some good work on kick returns, so he's also someone you could depend on special teams. And we could use some special teams, considering our special teams was ass last year. In terms of weaknesses, though, he doesn't do anything dynamic in space. Shouldn't be expecting to make defenders miss once he gets there. His lack of burst means he'll get caught trying to explode through the hole. He's a short strider with heavy feet weighing him down. Doesn't take much to bring him down, though, even from solo tackles. His lateral agility isn't enough to get out of the way when tacklers are honing it. His power falls below the desired threshold for the position. He can't play behind his pads. He drives his weight into collisions. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to now retired running back Vic Ballard. So, he's a solid running back that can run the ball. He can also do well in special teams. Maybe in terms of special teams, someone to keep an eye on to be a returner, depending on what happens with Jamal Agnew if he has another rough year. Someone to keep an eye on for special teams, maybe, for sure. So the next running back we're going to go over here, hailing out of Georgia, standing 6 feet tall, weighing 210 pounds, we have Brian Herrien. So for Brian's strengths, he has a lean athletic frame, impressive weight distribution, heavily muscled limbs. He's a stutter and a go runner, flashes true explosiveness, includes a burst of daylight out of his lateral cuts. He fights through contact, keeps his legs driving to finish runs. While his long strides allows him to eat up yardage once he's on open field. So once he's in open field, he can really go. He gallops past defenders, shows above average straight line speed for a back of his size. Has soft, confident hands as a receiver. Flash stability to make a spectacular reception. He emerged as a weapon on kick returns in 2019, so he can also be someone to look at in special teams too. He shows savvy and commitment as a route runner, explodes out of his breaks to generate immediate separation. So overall at college, though, he was never the feature back at Georgia. He always played second fiddle. Let me put his perspective. Let me name some running backs he played second fiddle behind in college. In college, he played behind Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, DeAndre Swift, and Elijah Holyfield. However, though, he was still productive. In his career with Georgia, he had 1,413 rushing yards, 13 touchdowns, averaging 5.1 yards per carry. And he did produce in the 4 years at Georgia. And Georgia's been a program that's been known for churning out NFL running back talent. So yeah, he did really well as someone that played second fiddle to top NFL running backs. In terms of his weaknesses, though, he looks the part, and he was surrounded by elite talent at the running back position, like I just mentioned. He notably never emerged as a full-time starter in Georgia. He was always second fiddle. Like the most rushing attempts he had in a single game came all the way back in 2016 against Tennessee when he had 15 rushing attempts. He's a high-cut wrong strider. His length and gait, it gives opponents a relatively large target. Doesn't help himself in the regard by running high, so he needs to learn how to stay low. And he negates his strengths and exposes the ball a bit, so he's got to learn to possess the ball better and keep it secure. In terms of his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Kenyon Drake of the Arizona Cardinals. So definitely a solid running back to keep an eye on, especially for special teams. You know, he never really got a shot as starter. So it makes you wonder, what could he have done if he was a starting or feature running back for Georgia? Raises a lot of questions. I definitely would take a gamble on him for sure. Looks like someone for sure to take a gamble on. Someone to keep an eye on without a doubt. So the next running back we're going to go over here, hailing out of Washington, standing 5'11", weighing 196 pounds, we have Salvon Ahmed. So for Salvon's strengths, few players in the draft were faster than him. Salvon, he ran a 40-yard dash out of high school in the low 4.3s. So he's very fast, easy accelerator, has the burst to get through the hole in a hurry, eliminates pursuit angles in the open field. He's not just fast, though. He also brings great quickness, both lateral and stop-start. Allows him to make quick cuts, still gets the top speed in a hurry. He does have some receiving experience. He caught 50 passes for Washington in college. So overall, he was one of the nation's best backs coming out of high school. His first 2 years in college, he worked as a change-of-pace back and was a second running back behind Myles Gaskins. In 2019, he was given a larger role with Washington, and Salvon, when he got his chance, he responded well. For 2019, this year, Salvon ran for 1,020 yards on 188 carries, averaging 5.4 yards a carry, with 11 touchdowns. He also was featured as a kick returner too. He returned 20 kicks for 500 yards in his college career, averaging 25 yards a return. So he's someone you can also count on too in the special teams to get you yards. So yeah. In terms of his weaknesses though, he has a slight frame, limited strength through contact, makes it hard to see him as a complete back at the next level. He doesn't shy from running inside, isn't going to push many piles, and will go down easily at times. In 2019, he only had 4 games where he handled 20-plus carries. So durability will be a concern with that much work in the NFL, so he may not be able to carry the workload that some teams may expect. His vision and instincts are only okay. He failed to break many big plays as a receiver. He averaged around 5.3 yards a catch in 2019. His progress in that area would boost his stock, but he might never be a good pass protector at his size. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Justice Hill of the Baltimore Ravens. So yeah, he's a solid running back for special teams. You know, he did pretty well too, but, you know, a few things he's going to have to clean up. He's definitely going to have to improve in the pass game. So he may be only just like a feature third down running back or a special teamer. Someone to keep an eye on maybe for special teams. So the next running back we're going to go over here, hailing out of Maryland, standing 6 feet tall, weighing 206 pounds, we have Jayvon Leak. So for Jayvon's strengths, he's a thrill to watch. You look away, you'll likely miss a big play for him. He can make that much of an impact. Smooth accelerator, doesn't look like he's moving all that fast until a seam cracks open. He bursts right through it. He can turn on wide variety of opportunities in the long touchdowns, including his kick returns, his draws, his toss plays, and his jet sweeps. He weaves through defenders, shakes off arm tackles, and outruns everyone, so he can make a big play when you need him to. Though he's more of a straight line runner, he does have lateral agility to shake defenders in tight spaces. Also runs with a tremendous level of energy and fearlessness. He's always pressing the gas pedal. So overall, in college at Maryland, he never became a full-time player for them, as in like a full-time starter. He was productive, though. On 145 carries, he scored 17 touchdowns. He also averaged 7.9 yards per carry. He also turned some heads also as a kick returner. In his career with Maryland, he had 3 kickoff returns for a touchdown. So he can make plays when you need him to. In terms of his weaknesses, though, he isn't a complete player at the point. He drew double-digit carries just only 3 times in 33 games. He only topped 11 carries in a game only once. He may be able to handle more work. His lower half is a bit slight, though. He has shown little power or contact balance. He also hasn't shown the vision and consistency to churn out the yards between the tackles, so consistency a bit of an issue. He may never be more than just a boom or bust type, so if you utilize him well, he's going to excel. But if you don't utilize him well, he's going to bust and not do anything. His lack of involvement in the pass game is a bit disappointing. His skill set merits use on gadget plays, screen passes, and slants. So the only way he really excels is if you do a slant play or a screen pass. He also's got to protect the ball better. In his 215 career touches with the ball, he's had 7 fumbles. So he's got to learn to possess the ball better and not cause turnovers. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Tony Pollard of the Dallas Cowboys. So interesting running back, someone to keep an eye on, maybe for special teams too. He also did play. He's played behind Anthony McFarland. And he's also played behind Ty Johnson, who currently plays for the Lions. So maybe someone to keep an eye on for sure. So the next running back we're going to go over here, hailing out of West Michigan, standing 5'9", weighing 185 pounds, we have Levante Bellamy. So Levante, he was one of those small school studs, so he was someone that really killed it off in the small school area district. So, for his strengths, he's a former wide receiver, has pitter-pat quickness to elude in tight quarters, explosive straight-line speed. According to West Michigan, in June 2019, when they measured all the players' 40-yard times, Levante ran for 4.28 seconds in that 40-yard dash. The burst so he's very fast. His burst is immediately noticeable on tape. Some tape that you could watch for note of it was against some top competition for West Michigan, against names like Michigan State, Syracuse, and Michigan. So yeah, if you want some tape on his explosiveness, just watch game film from those 3 games. In college, Levante had 10 carries of 40-plus yards the last 2 years, so he's someone that could really make a big play. He isn't relying on his speed, but demonstrates good vision to utilize his blocks, as well as enough strength and balance to break tackles. The last 2 years, he's had 200-plus carries, so he's someone that can really hold a workload for sure. He also has experience as a kick returner, and according to West Michigan's head coach, Tim Lester, he was characterized as the team's hardest worker, so he's someone that you can really count on and will always work his ass off to make the team successful. So overall, in 2019, Levante won the Mid-American Conference Offensive Player of the Year award. Also in 2019, he ran for 1,472 yards and 23 touchdowns. He played 5 years at West Michigan. Had a medical redshirt in 2016 that will need to be looked at. But his last 2 years at West Michigan, he ran for a combined total of 2,700 yards. So he's someone that can really run the ball well. In terms of his weaknesses, though, and also out of those, in terms of his weaknesses, though, while he is stronger than he looks, though, he is significantly undersized, possesses below average contact balance, so he may need to bulk up a little bit. He's a former receiver. He plays like it. As a stiff breeze, it's all it seemingly takes to knock him over at times, so he needs to learn to stand up and stay strong. He will need to be He will need a medical thorough evaluation. He missed most of 2016 and 2017 with leg injuries, with those injuries being a destabilized fibula and a broken ankle. So he does come with a couple injury red flags, which will raise some questions. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Taiwan Jones of the Houston Texans. So yeah, he's someone that can really hold a workload and can be really productive. But the main key here is, can he stay healthy? Because, he comes with injury history. That's going to be a red flag. It's going to be a gamble. The big key for him for sure is for him to be healthy. I mean, if he can stay healthy, he could be someone to look at for sure. Someone maybe to take a gamble on, without a doubt. So the next running back we're going to go over here, hailing out of South Carolina, steady 5'11", weighing 214 pounds. We have Rico Dowdle. Hopefully I said that last name right. That's a bit hard to pronounce. For his strengths, he possesses undeniable juice for a back of his size, shows the instant jets, takes advantage of gaps to spurt to the second level, has good lateral agility, makes defenders miss in tight quarters. He dekes left and right to shake before he hits the turbo button. He runs hard, generates impressive yards after contact. He caught most of his passes on simple screens and dump-offs, but he shows attention to detail as a route runner when he splits out wide. So overall, he's a gifted runner, struggles to stay out of the trainer's room though, so yeah, he comes with some medical issues. We'll get into that in a few seconds. Throughout his career at South Carolina, he ran for 2,167 yards and 16 touchdowns. He also had 483 receiving yards in his career at South Carolina. So in South Carolina, he played in 39 games and started 29 of them. In terms of his weaknesses, though, like I mentioned, he has a number of red flag issues. A number of red flags out the ass. Had problems staying out of trainer's room because he had multiple leg issues, including a number of soft tissue injuries. So other than that, though, he gets ahead of his skis, too easily knocked off balance by his lateral hits. Offers impressive stop-start acceleration, doesn't possess the elite breakaway speed. So for his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Royce Freeman of the Denver Broncos. So yeah, he's a very talented running back, but he's had issues staying healthy. That's going to be the issue. Can he stay healthy? And, he has a massive injury history. I don't think it's worth the gamble. I think we could do a lot better with a different running back. So I say for Rico, I say pass on him. I give him a solid pass. Just, too many injury issues. Too many problems staying healthy. Not worth a shot. So the next running back we're going to go over here, hailing out of Appalachian State, standing 5'11", weighing 200 pounds, we have Darian Evans. So for Darian's strengths, he's a classic slasher type. Great combination of acceleration, lateral bursts, and top speed. Explosive play machine in college. Regularly breaks 3 for long runs and scores on 3 kick returns. So he's also someone you can rely on special teams and someone that can make a big play when you need him to. He shows the balance to stay out through peripheral contact. He's not much of a sharp cutter though. He uses his sudden but subtle jukes at speed that changes angles. He outruns defenders. He wasn't used extensively in the past game. He did see though more catches in 2019. He had 21 catches in 2019 and 5 passing touchdowns. So he's useful underneath, but he also flashed the ability to get deep on wheel routes. So he's somebody you can use for those kind of plays. So overall for his college career, he had a quiet freshman year in 2016. In 2017, he was kept out of the season with a knee injury, so he does come with an injury history. But he emerged as a redshirt sophomore the following year. He took over for Jayvon Moore, who got injured that year. In 2018, he ran for 1,187 yards and on 179 carries, averaging 6.6 yards a carry, and had 7 rushing touchdowns. In 2019, he won the Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Year when he had 1,678 total yards and 23 touchdowns. So really the injury didn't look like it didn't slow him down one bit. So yeah, for his weaknesses though, There isn't much of a power element to his game for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that he has a bit of a lean build. Lacks body armor, though, to take repeated punishment, so his durability could become an issue. He may not be able to hold the workload that some teams may expect. Second reason is that he tends to run a bit upright, fails to get the leverage needed to push piles, both through defenders. Now, even though he's a speedster, he's more of a straight line runner, though. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Lamar Miller to Houston Texans. So yeah, he's a solid running back. He's got a few things to clean up, though. And yeah, the injury, though, even though it's a bit of a red flag, it didn't look like it affected his speed that much. So yeah, someone to definitely keep an eye on for sure to take a gamble on. If he can stay healthy, this is someone definitely to keep an eye on for sure. So the next running back we're going to go over here, hailing out of Arizona, standing 5'6", weighing 180 pounds, we have J.J. Taylor. So for J.J.'s strengths, has a solid all-around skill set, allows him to line up all over the formation. He can line up in the backfield as a traditional runner. He's also to make plays out of orbit motion. He also has natural pass-catching skills, can be used as a slot receiver too, so you can experiment with him on your offense for sure. Has good vision, a motor that allows him to run angry at times. He packs power for his size. His go-to move is a spin, and its spin move is excellent. So overall, for JJ's career in Arizona, his best season came in his junior year when he ran for 1,434 yards on 255 carries, averaging 5.6 yards a carry, and he also earned third-team All-American honors. His numbers, though, in 2019 did take a bit of a dip when he only ran for 721 yards on 148 carries, averaging 4.9 yards a carry. So yeah, he was used more for like a timeshare approach, and Taylor, he did miss 2.5 games last year because of an ankle injury. So yeah, he does come with a little bit of an injury history, which does raise a red flag. Is it going to become an issue? So yeah, other than that, for his weaknesses, though, he's a smaller back. He seeks out contact, which could make him more susceptible to injuries in the NFL. So yeah, with his size, though, he could be someone that could become injury prone. You know, he's a willing blocker, though. He has a tendency to just throw his shoulders at oncoming blitzers in the pass protection. Too often, he's brought down or tripped up by first contact, which results in him struggling to gain more yardage than what is blocked for him as a result of that. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Jamal Williams of the Green Bay Packers. So he's a solid running back, but he's a bit undersized, and with the thing that where he could become more injury prone because of his size. Is it worth a gamble? I think we could do a lot better with a lot of different running backs. I think we could get a bigger running back for sure, but he's a bit undersized for the position. Maybe someone as a receiver. But, for him, I'm going to have to say pass on him. I'm going to take a pass with him. So the next running back we're going to go over here, hailing out of BYU, standing 6 feet tall, weighing 220 pounds, we have Tyson Williams. So for Tyson's strengths, he looks the part physically, has a stout, chiseled frame, can handle some punishment. He appeared to be seized the workhorse load with BYU before he suffered an ACL injury. We'll get over that in a little bit. He has the size to handle it, though. He also is surprisingly light feet. Is balanced for a big man. He shows off a deep repertoire of jukes, subtle redirection, jump cuts, even spin moves. He flashes bursts to and through the hole. He's willing to lower his shoulder to finish. So overall, for Tyson's college career, he started off at North Carolina, but after 1 year, he transferred over to South Carolina, where he played for South Carolina for 2 years. Then he transferred over to BYU as a graduate. In 2019, Tyson did get off to a hot start for BYU. In the first 3 games of the year, he had 236 yards on 43 carries, averaging 5.5 yards a carry. Before in the 4th game of the year, he had suffered an ACL injury that took him out for the year. So he does come with a bit of an injury history, which is a bit of a red flag. So yeah, that could be something that could be consistent throughout his career. Could injuries become an issue with him? So in terms of his weaknesses, though, he doesn't run with the downhill bruiser approach you expect for his size, though. He often fails to move the pile or drive defenders as well as he could with a sturdy frame. He runs more like a small back. His array of moves was effective at times in college. It will probably be less so in the NFL, though. He doesn't have the speed to consistently turn the corner or outrun pursuit angles. He's likely going to need to expand his pass-catching ability. So for his NFL comparison, he's been compared to free agent running back Alex Collins. So he's a solid running back, but the injury, could it be a gap? Could it be an issue? So the main thing with him is that he's going to need to stay healthy, though. He's got a few things to clean up for sure, and he may need time, though, to develop if he's going to have any chance at a pass-catching ability. It would be a gamble, but if you can utilize him well, it could pay off big in the end. Someone maybe to take a gamble on. And the final running back, the final player we're going to go over in this video, hailing out of Iowa, standing 5'11", weighing 223 pounds, we have Torin Young. So for Torin's strengths, he brings plenty of heft to the table as a thickly built runner, has a low center of gravity, ability to bounce off tackles. He knows what his strengths are and puts them to good use, so he knows how to utilize his strengths to his advantage and use it to his advantage too. He's very experienced in the zone running game. He reads blocks well, is a decisive one-cut runner, smart player, lots for his hustle and character. He has some interests with some teams as a part-time fullback, so he can also play the fullback role well. So, overall in college Iowa, he was never the undisputed primary back with Iowa. He was productive, though. In 2017, he redshirted and took a limited role in 2017. In 2018, he had more featured roles. He had 5 games where he had 14-plus carries. He also finished, in 2018, he finished with 637 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. In 2019, his carries, though, dipped from 136 carries to just only 81 carries. And more of a rotation in 2019, so he's more of a rotational back. In terms of his weaknesses, though, he's simply not fast enough to be much more than a power and short yard back. So he's someone you can put in for 3rd and short or the 1st and goal situations or 4th and inches, maybe, if you don't want to do a QB sneak. He looks uncomfortable at times in space. He sputters like he's running on an empty tank, so conditioning and cardio could maybe be an issue too. He wasn't used as a goal line back, though, in 2019. He only finished his career with just only 8 touchdowns. And he doesn't really bring any passing game value. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to retired running back Matt Teixeira. So he can handle a workload well. He can be productive, but he has a lot of limitations. He's not really effective in the pass game. So he could mainly be only a short down running back. I'm not sure if he's worth it. I'd say pass on him. So yeah, anyway, that's going to wrap it up here for this Detroit Lions 2020 NFL Draft Preview. So, of course, some solid names here to keep an eye on for sure. Some names to take a look at, if the Lions don't take a running back in day 2 or 3, in day 2 in rounds 2 or 3. Or unless one of those running backs for day 2 fall in day 3, then maybe take a shot at them. So yeah, some solid names to keep an eye on for sure, But in terms of the previews, they're far from done. I do got some other videos I want to do in the coming days before we get the next preview done. And I do got another episode of Free Agency Wars getting ready to go to have out by Friday. So you got all that content to look forward to. So yeah, the previews will still continue on. I'll have another preview up in a couple of days, like I mentioned the schedule, where I'm now doing 4 previews a week now. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So yeah, that's the schedule for this week. So yeah, anyway, that's all I gotta say, folks. Hope everyone's a great day. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash the like button. If you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe for more of this content and tap that bell for all notifications. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up here. I've been C-Rad from C-RadTV. Hope everyone's a great day, and yeah, peace out.